How's it going, peeps? It's me, Pokis here, and as you could see in the title, this is my first impressions and thoughts of the Tom Clancy's The Division beta. Without further ado, let's talk about the story. In a nutshell, the story of The Division is based around the cities of US, mainly around New York. That is where we will start our journey. The city has gone to hell after a smallpox pandemic spreads on Black Friday and sweeps through the cities across the US. The player is part of the Strategic Homeland Division SHD, or the Division for short, a classified stay-behind force of self-supported tactical agents leading seamlessly ordinary lives. SHD agents are trained to operate independently of command when all else fails. This group is established to combat the threat brought about by the outbreak and are given direct authority by the President of the United States to do whatever it takes to prevent the fall of society and piece the city back together. Throughout the game, the agents will find themselves caught in the worldwide conspiracy and will be forced to combat both the threats of the virus as well as those who unleashed it. So yeah, that's the story part. Graphics, controls, and the UI. Well, what can I say about the graphics at this point? It's a beta build, so it's a work in progress, so we can't expect the graphics to be at their best at this point. But what are my thoughts on it, of the graphics at this point? From what I saw while I was running around in different places, the graphics look great. What more can I say? And the controls. What I noticed about the controls for the movement and shooting, in short, there is still some work to be done. At some points, the both movement and shooting felt really stiff, like you were lagging or something like that. It sometimes was annoying when the character would or wouldn't do something that you were commanding it to do. But the thing that I liked about the movement and shooting was that I noticed that the movements and shooting both have similar features from the past games like Gears of War, GTA, Watch Dogs, and The Last of Us. And nothing much more to say about the controls. The UI, the user interface, for me it was kind of 50-50. I liked some parts of it and I hated some parts of it. Like the floating interface of the player's health, ammo, and skills and gadgets. I like that one. What I hated was the map. Like, oh my god, that was a piece of crap. You could only see things on the map that were close to you. Like, if you were wondering if you had like some side missions or some shit left, for example, you had to move your cursor around the map to make some of the things that you might have missed to pop up randomly. Like, why? Why couldn't they stay and show up on the map when you open it? No, you gotta move the cursor either near or over the thing for it to pop up. And zooming in closer to the map is a clusterfuck of pixels and shit. The map still needs a lot of work for it to look good and to work better. Not much to say about the menu. Every game has a decent but working menu. I'll give Division that. Weapons, gear, and loot. About the weapons and gears in the game, they are separated to both to a PvE zone and a PvP zone. And there are different categories of both weapons and gears. And the categories were separated by colors. The colors were gray, green, blue, purple, and yellow. Or as I would call them, gray is common, green is good, blue is rare, purple is legendary, and yellow is elite. All weapons and gears also had different stats, buffs, and mods. And I think that was all from the weapons, I think. Now for the looting itself. The loot in the game comprises of different things like weapons, gear, mods, clothing, food, water, and different materials. These all can be acquired by completing missions, looting different places, or looting killed enemies and helping random civilians. I think that's it. Currencies. About the currencies in the game, they were both also separated to the areas, both PvE and PvP. In the PvE, when you completed a mission, scavenged or got some loot, you get PvE currency that you can use around the PvE zone, mainly at your base of operations, I think. The PvP currency, on the other hand, can only be acquired at the Dark Zone area. How do I acquire it? Well, you just run around killing either AI enemies or other players and looting it from them. And the PvP currency can only be used at vendors at the checkpoints at the edges of the Dark Zone, or by finding the hidden safe houses inside the Dark Zone. And I think that's it for the currencies. Leveling and skills. The leveling system is also separated to both PvE and PvP. You can gain PvE experience by completing missions, killing enemies, etc. around the PvE zone. And as for the PvP experience, you can only gain it at the Dark Zone area by killing either AIs or other players. The skills are separated in 3 categories: medical, tech, and security. These categories let you decide what kind of style you wanted to play as. Like, medical seems to be like the healing support class. This class lets you mark enemies, heal yourself and others, and etc. Tech seems to be more like offensive support class. And that class lets you use like different gadgets and aid you in your friends in battle, I think. A security seems to be like a defensive support class, and this class lets you use bulletproof shields and other defensive things on the field. And that's pretty much it for the skills. Questing and missions. Your main mission is to rebuild your base of operations and to try finding the cure for the virus that is sweeping through the cities across the US. Questing and missions are scattered randomly across the PvE zone to different sorts and types. You got your main missions, your like story missions that you can get from your base of operations. You got your side missions that you can pick up either from your base of operations or somewhere around the PvE zone. The different types of missions that I saw were hostage rescue, supply defending, raiding enemy camps, investigating contaminated areas, and helping at enemy encounters. That's it for the PvE part. I'm not sure if the Dark Zone area is gonna have the missions when the game is actually released, but we'll see it then. And this wraps up the questing and missions. The AI. The AI enemies and friendlies are also categorized by colors. Friendlies are green, enemies are marked as gray, purple, and yellow. Or as I would call them, gray, that means normal. Purple, strong, and yellow, that is already called elite in the game. The AI in the game seems kinda stupid. I was actually waiting for the AI to be more smart. The AI enemies run around like fucking headless chickens. They take covers in stupid places on the open, and they also don't stay in covers that much because they pop up their heads and start randomly shooting through, though you are behind cover, and they should know that they can hit you by doing so. And the only plus that I'm gonna give to the AI of the game is that they're aiming and shooting sometimes. When you were running from cover to cover, they shoot at you and almost hit you every time, no matter how much you did some fucking serpentine moves. Multiplayer and the Dark Zone. The multiplayer works on both zones, the PvE and the PvP. The game has an inbuilt voice chat that you can use either alone, in groups, or in parties. I don't have much to say from the PvE aspect of the multiplayer. You just run around doing missions and random shit. But now we get to the good part of the PvP aspect and the Dark Zone area. The Dark Zone has both aspects, the PvE and the PvP. You can randomly run into either AI enemies or other players in the zone. The looting system in the Dark Zone is limited up to 6 pieces of gear that you can stash in your bag of contaminated items. When you have all 6 slots full, you need to find an extraction area. These areas are the hotspots of the Dark Zone. These are the areas that usually have a lot of players near them, because they are the only areas that you can extract your Dark Zone loots without leaving the Dark Zone. When at the area, you have to call in an extraction chopper that will take its time to arrive to the extraction area. Then, when it arrives, it drops in a rope with hooks on it that you can attach your bag of contaminated items to. Then, you can leave in search of new loot. And the loot that you gather from the Dark Zone will be delivered to your personal stash in your base of operations. And if you don't manage to get to the extraction area while carrying loot, there is a danger of losing the loot if someone kills you and steals your loot. The Dark Zone is a place where no one can be trusted, a similarity of DayZ. Even friends can be your enemies. Always be cautious when entering the Dark Zone. The Dark Zone also has a going rogue feature, meaning that a player has turned hostile towards other players. This feature can active either when you're alone or in a party. Going rogue also adds extra pressure on the one who has it. Going rogue adds a bounty and a danger of losing more XP and money if you die in the Dark Zone. And if you are the one hunting the bounty, you can acquire more money and even loot if you manage to collect the bounty. And about respawning in the Dark Zone. Respawning in the Dark Zone sends you back either to the checkpoint or a safe house if you have managed to find one. And if you die while you are still going rogue, you have to wait until your going rogue timer has counted down, and then you can respawn. And I think that was everything about the Dark Zone. Good luck in the Dark Zone! Bugs and problems. What I encountered during my playtime in the Division was I was randomly getting stuck while I was moving. The enemies were shooting me through solid objects, and I also got stuck once to my friend. We were climbing down a ladder and shit. But yeah, I got stuck into other players, and those were the only bugs that I actually encountered. I didn't encounter very much of them. The problems in the game, well, there can be a lot of other problems next to the things that I encountered and talked about earlier. So I might not know all the problems. Overall, is it worth it? Overall, it was a good, fun, and exciting game. Is it worth it? Hell yes. Well, that wraps up my first impressions and thoughts of The Division. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the game when it is released. My name is Pokis, and I'm out.